It's inevitable, folks. When you're a UFC champion, at some point in your career, you go in the heavy favorite and you end up losing it all to the underdog. Some are saying that's the path that Makhachev is on. Others are claiming the diamond is going to get tapped out by Khabib 2.0. And that's what we're here to break down with you, folks. You already know, it's your boy AJ, aka the Santa Fe Bomber, and we're back with another quick hit series. This week, UFC 302, 10 minutes or less, right? My thoughts just going into this week's card, how the fights are going to break down, how the betting's going to shake down. But I know you already know, folks. You want to win some money. You want to make sure that you're the best out there, right? You're going to be following the best. Bloody Water Podcast. Go check us out. We're going to win you money, guaranteed, week in and week out, however you're betting. But either way, let's get into it. Starting us off in the main event, folks, we got Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. This one's going to be a very interesting fight. I mean, regardless the fact that the odds have swollen to Islam's favor, I think it's like a minus 400, minus 600 favorite, somewhere in there. Crazy money, right? But it's hard to bet against Islam Makhachev whenever he's basically infallible. Like until we see a chink in his armor, in his offense, in his defense, in some sort of capacity in the ring, it's hard to bet against him. But it's also hard to argue the fact that Dustin Poirier is not one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, arguably number two, for a while now in the 155-pound division. But this dude is fucking a killer, right? He's going to be able to just box Islam up if Islam isn't able to get his hands on him. That's going to be the whole question, right? Can Poirier keep this standing? The bigger question, the one I want you to answer, folks, is if Dustin Poirier does get, or I guess when Dustin Poirier gets taken down, will he be able to stand up? That's the big question. That's how this whole fight hinders. If he doesn't, it's going to be a very long night. And in a 5-round fight, folks, that's what makes this one interesting. In a 5-round fight between Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa, we get to see some boys go to work on this one. This fight has me excited just because we get to see the machine that is Sean Strickland get to finally put that snowball into action, right? He's a 5-round fighter. If he's in a 3-round fight, he's somewhat slow. He has less output, but just because he's reading, right? Philly shell. He's going to be looking good, looking for the big strikes that Paulo Costa is going to be throwing. Because Costa's got power all day. My big question is how does Paulo Costa handle being on the back foot consistently, right? We've seen him gas out at some points. We've seen him have his struggles, but we've also seen him look really good in his last fight. I mean, the one against Robert Whittaker, he lost. I'm pretty sure he lost, but lost to Robert Whittaker. But he wobbled him, man. He looked good. He wobbled him. So this is going to be an interesting one because if Costa is able to defend or get the respect of Sean Strickland and back him up a little bit, then Costa's going to be able to land big bombs, right? Some big counter strikes because Sean Strickland's going to have to be putting the pressure on, and he's going to be putting the pressure on. That's regardless. Just with those jab machine all day long. So with the pressure that Sean Strickland's going to see, let's see if it folds Paulo Costa. I don't know if it's going to, but it's going to make for a very fun fight. Kevin Holland, the Trailblazer, back at it again at his other weight class, 185 pounds versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Sorry if I butchered it, brother, my bad. But either way, man, this dude's an absolute killer right here. Oleksiejczuk. So the big one, right? Oleksiejczuk's coming down from 205. Holland going up from 170, but we know Holland can handle the power. He's a big boy. He's used to 185 pound. He has no problem with it, and he's going to be bringing the speed with him that he was used to in 170. He's going to be interesting, man. I like Holland in this fight, especially if he's able to control that distance. And on the other hand, you have Oleksiejczuk. This dude's coming down, right? He's going to have big power. He's going to be walking in solid, but having to cut down. So it begs the question, how well does that cut going? I mean, if he's doing it right, it's going to make for a fun fight. The thing is, though, can Oleksiejczuk close the distance enough to put the boxing to work? Right, I don't see too many takedowns in this fight. We might see a couple. We might see Holland with some funny trips or stuff like that. We'll see, right? But the big question is, can Oleksiejczuk close down the distance? Because if this gets past like the round and a half, Kevin Holland has a tendency to get a little bit predictable in the blitz. He telegraphs his attack and his blitz the same, basically every time. So if Oleksiejczuk is good at his hands, he's able to get on the inside when that blitz is coming, counter strike on that. That's what makes it big. I think Holland's a massive favorite right now. Something like 300. Oh, yeah, 250. 250 favorite. It's going to be a fun fight. I mean, either way, you're in for excitement. That's why I'm excited for this one. My big question to you folks, where does Holland go if he wins this one? Or I guess where does Oleksiejczuk go at that? If you're whoever fighter you're betting on, where is their trajectory after this fight? What does this fight do for them? Because it's kind of no man's land for both of them, if you ask me. And aren't we all excited for a Nico Price fight, man? Nico Price versus Alex Morono, second, number 2, right? They're running it back. First time Morono was on a nice path for just kicking some ass, and then he gets knocked out. Nico Price, I mean, that's why we love him, right? Dude's an absolute gangster, here for the knockouts, here for just fucking wild, crazy shit. Nico Price, the hybrid, he is that guy. This is a fun one, but the thing is, all right, so Nico Price, he needs a win bad right here. He's on a 4-fight loss streak. It's desperation time, right? He's crawling and digging, but I mean, if there's ever a man to do it, Nico Price is that dog. He's always down for a sloppy firefight, and if it goes like the last one, right? If Alex Morono can stay precise, stay on his game plan, walk him down, beat him up, keep the pressure, wrestle if you need to, whatever the case is, if you're able to just stay in that lane, Nico Price is going to have a hard time navigating around it because he's so wild, he's so unorthodox, and he just throws things out of nowhere, right? He's good. We know Nico Price is going to try to control you on one side of the octagon, get you in a corner, and then just start throwing combos from crazy angles and just see what lands. And the thing is, Nico Price has that off switch. So if he lands, we could see a repeat of the second fight, or first fight. This one's going to be interesting. I mean, it got moved onto the main card late for a reason. It's on pay-per-view. Nico Price always seems to find itself on pay-per-view. Make sure you tune in. And Rude Boy opening up the main card for us, folks. Make sure you tune into this one because he is fighting an absolute gangster in Oleksiejczuk dos Santos. Man, this dude, if you're not familiar with Oleksiejczuk dos Santos, this dude's a gangster, right? Like I said, he's down for a brawl, bit of a wild man. He has pressure, he has power, he has all the intangibles to make this a very fun fight against a surging Randy Brown. I mean, what I like most about Randy, obviously, good slick combos, nice and bouncy, light, stays long, fights long, tall, but he's sort of gotten kind of used to this vicious streak he's on, right? He's found his vicious side and is working for him. So that's these two clashing off. It makes sense why this one's opening up the main card. I mean, this one, I'll let the cat out of the bag. This one's for free, folks. If you made it this long in the show, we're all betting for Rude Boy Randy Brown. Make sure you tune in, all right? And just like that, folks, 10 minutes or less. Like I said, my thoughts just going into this week's card. But as always, right, make sure you're subscribed here. But if you want to win some money, make sure you go subscribe to the Bloody Water Podcast. We're breaking it down week in and week out with your favorite fighter's favorite fight show because we're winning you money consistently, folks. Make sure you're subscribed. Check out my other stuff down below. You already know. Anyway, thank you so much for checking it out. I'll catch y'all soon, all right? Peace. Bearsy?